This is the Airseekers Robot Lawn Mower. The shell is a textured black plastic with a sturdy, exposed frame and big, omnidirectional wheels that sit tall off the ground. The stance reminds me of a small ATV, high clearance, chunky tread, and those angled front wheels that flex as it turns. It's not tiny either, about 28 inches long, 18.5 inches wide, and a bit under 14 inches tall, weighing roughly 52 pounds. The top panel is clean, with a big emergency stop button and a light ring that lets me know what it's doing at a glance. The vibe is purposeful and tough, not toy-like. On the spec side, the key features that stood out to me are the 21.9 volts, 15,000 mAh swappable battery, IPX6 waterproof rating for hose-down cleaning, the AI vision system with optional RTK for mapping, 80-style traction with a claimed 65% slope ability, and the flow-cut mulching chamber. Cutting height goes from 1.18 to 3.54 inches, and the cutting width is about 7.87 inches. In my opinion, that deck is on the narrow side for a premium mower, but the trade-off is a very clean finish. From my experience, setup felt modern and pretty intuitive. I paired it to the app over Bluetooth, grabbed my Wi-Fi, updated firmware, and then used my phone like a remote to trace the boundaries. Think slow RC car. It takes patience if you have curved beds and trees, but it's straightforward. I started without the RTK module to see how far the vision system could go. It mapped my front and backyard and created a virtual fence with no physical wire, which is a huge convenience if you hate burying boundary lines. After a few runs, I added RTK to test precision near fences and tight edges. The app is cleanly designed, and I like that I can see where it is in real time, tweak schedules, and move the cutting height without walking outside. In actual mowing, it doesn't march in perfect stripes by default. The pattern looks a bit random at first, but by the end of a session, the coverage evens out. My lawn is a mix of flat sections and mild hills, plus one steep bank. Traction is excellent. It climbs in places I expected it to slip, and it rarely loses its footing unless the ground is muddy or really soft. Noise sits around the level of a quiet conversation, so I ran it early without bothering anyone. There's a beep every time the blades start or stop that's louder than the mowing itself, which took me by surprise. The flow cut chamber pulls grass up before cutting, and that suction makes a visible difference on bent blades and damp clippings. The mulch that comes out is very fine, so I'm not seeing clumps, and the lawn looks consistently even after each pass. Battery life has been solid. On a full charge, I get close to the advertised 3 hours, depending on how thick the grass is and how many hills it climbs. The battery is swappable, and that's where this mower quietly wins. I kept a spare on the charger. When the mower docked, I swapped and sent it right back out. No waiting, which helps if you're trying to cover a large area in a day. Airseekers claims up to 2,400 square meters of mowing coverage overall, and with the spare battery, I was able to keep it cycling through my property without babysitting. A couple of quirks showed up. When I placed the charging dock tight against the side of my house, the vision system got fussy and wouldn't start a session reliably. Moving the base a few feet into a more open spot fixed it. Adding RTK also helped when it worked close to walls and under eaves. Edging is good but not perfect. It keeps a safety gap of a few inches from fences and stone borders. I still pull out a string trimmer for that final crisp line. On soft soil, it can spin and settle, so I learned to avoid scheduling right after heavy watering. And those angled front wheels, while gentle on turf during turns, can feel like they add a touch of drag in straight lines on thick grass, which probably contributes to the slower overall coverage with the narrow deck. I tested the rain behavior as well. The mower senses moisture and returns to charge instead of powering through drizzle. In my area, light rain is common, so I asked support about overriding that. From my experience, I only saw the override option once I enabled the RTK accessory, which felt like an odd limitation for a machine billed as primarily vision-led. Not a deal breaker, but something to know if you live in a place with frequent showers. On the maintenance side, IPX6 is a real benefit. Flipping it up and rinsing the undercarriage with a hose is stress-free. No rust fears, no delicate dance around electronics. The blade system is easy to access, and the brushless motor hasn't shown any hiccups. Security features in the app, account binding, GPS tracking, and an audio-visual alarm gave me comfort when I had to leave it on the side yard out of view. What I like most, and this is the core, is the cut quality and the low fuss during daily use. The flow cut chamber and suction don't just look cool on paper, they produce a uniform, clean result that I can see right away, especially on grass that tends to lay flat. It's quiet, doesn't chew up the lawn when turning, and handles slopes like a little climber. The swappable battery design saves time and makes high-capacity mowing actually practical. The app is good enough that I rarely touch the hardware buttons. When it avoids obstacles, it does so smoothly, and I appreciate that it usually circles back to missed spots later in the run. After a week of regular schedules, my yard looked more consistently tidy than when I was doing big weekend cuts. There are trade-offs. In my opinion, the narrow 7.87-inch cutting width means it's not the fastest machine to finish a large area in one go, even with a big battery. Edge precision still lags behind what I can do with a manual trimmer. Vision-based navigation can be sensitive to where you park the base. I had to rethink placement. And as a newer brand that launched with crowdfunding roots, Airseekers doesn't yet have the same trust cushion as the legacy names. I've had a good experience with app stability and updates so far, but long-term parts and support always sit in the back of my mind. It's perfect for someone who wants wire-free installation, has open lawn sections with slopes, and values cut quality and quiet operation over raw cutting width. If your yard has lots of tight corridors and edges that must be razor clean without a follow-up trim, you might feel the limitations. If you're comfortable adding RTK for tricky areas, or if your lawn has a decent sky view, the navigation lands better. I'd recommend this for early adopters who care about advanced features like AI vision, swappable batteries, and a mulching system that actually helps the grass look better week to week. In conclusion, the AirSeekers Robot Lawn Mower blends a bold design with thoughtful engineering where it counts. A strong traction setup, a smart app, an IPX6 rated body you can rinse, and a flow cut system that delivers a noticeably better cut. It's not flawless. Edging, base placement, and brand maturity are real considerations, but the day-to-day experience of a quiet, capable, wire-free mower that keeps the yard looking sharp has been genuinely satisfying for me. If you're okay with a smaller deck and you want a modern approach to lawn care, this is a compelling option. I will share detailed information about the Airseekers Robot Lawn Mower in the comments section, everyone. Thank you for watching.